summer was supposed to be the summer of home improvement. Even though Kristen, my wife, and I were going on our 5th year here in the wonderful Fourth Universalist parsonage, this apartment had always felt a bit like the Wild West to us. Our closets were chaos. We had no reason why one thing was in one closet and not the other. Cabinets and drawers just contained things, mostly knickknacks we didn't know what to do with, but also didn't want to throw away. Major walls were barren and full of holes from failed attempts to hammer through concrete walls. And the paint, a brooding brown color, felt like a mistake the moment we chose it and saw it in person. But this summer, it was all going to change. This summer, when both Kristen and I were going to be on summer leave, we are going to finally make the home what we wanted it to be. We'd spend time and energy and a little bit of money. Because if not now when we're stuck here, then when? So we cleaned, and we organized, and we threw so much away. We had 2 rooms painted, and it feels so much brighter. We bought plants and moved and donated furniture that was just taking up space. And as someone who has 0 handyman skills, I am pleased to share that I am now a proud owner of not just a drill, but also an oscillator. I was going to do things, fix things. I watched videos on YouTube about how to clean grout and install shelving. It felt really good. I would even call it a spiritual practice, a prolonged ritual of alignment between myself and the home, the space, the environment that I was living in. It felt like bringing order and beauty into the world, a bit like an artist crafting and curating a canvas and a sculpture. Now, the last big puzzle piece that we had decided to tackle this summer was getting a new rug for the living room. The old one was worn, and it didn't fit the new arrangement and the color of the room. Now, of all the work of homemaking this summer, I was the most stressed about this. Rugs can make or break a room. At stake was all the work it felt like we'd done so far. They are expensive and hard to return and big. And you don't know what they really look like in a space until you've already got it. After long conversations and feedback from families, we took a leap of faith. We ordered a rug that we thought was bright and calming and stylish. It came within a week. We rolled it out, and it looked beautiful. I was so relieved. The home was coming to life. The work of the summer paying off, perfectly timed, as I was beginning work this fall. Now, as I was standing there, admiring the beauty of that rug for the very first time, feeling so proud and pleased, out from behind me slunk one of our cats. I didn't notice her immediately, being so enamored as I was and in love with this new rug. Out of my corner of the eye, I may have seen her padding underneath the coffee table, believing I imagined that I couldn't see her. And then she got into position and just started ripping, clawing and tearing and just going to town on that brand new, perfect rug. I felt like it was one of those moments in a movie that turned into slow motion, where the character yells something like, "No!" at something they can't stop from happening. Something horrible. I lunged forward, yelled, and startled her, forcing her to retreat into the kitchen. But the damage was done. Threads and fuzz were everywhere. The rug had been tarnished. I tried to smooth it over, vacuumed it the best I could, but it would never be the same. Now my wife and I went into damage control mode. Extra scratching posts were ordered, along with calming cat pheromones that were supposed to chill them out. We locked them in the bedroom at night to limit damage, but nothing seemed to work. Every time we left them alone, We hear noise from the other side of the apartment, tearing, clawing, destruction, and come to find a new patch of the rug victimized. We didn't know what to do. And we still don't. I spent the summer trying to make our home perfect, and just like that, it was all in jeopardy. We couldn't return the rug. It was too big to store, and for all we know, the next one would just be shredded too. It was demoralizing. Now, was I being overly dramatic? Some of us in this house think so, but it did force me to give up my dream of perfection, especially for this place that I call home. It's easy to yearn after that perfect place, perfect community, perfect situation. But homes, I'm having to learn through the grace of my cat, are never finalized, always in progress. We're always engaged with the unfolding lives that inhabit within them. Kristen wisely noted that if I think cats are disruptive, I should just wait until we have kids. Now, I know I'm not the only one wrestling with the home that I live in. Homes feel more important now than they ever did. During this pandemic, many of us are just stuck in them, especially in New York City, and they feel way too small, claustrophobic, like we are trapped. Others of us are living far from home, maybe with our parents or our relatives or our friends. We are living in someone else's home and missing our own. Others are moving or trying a new home out. If we're lucky, this is by choice. If not, maybe we are moving by need, struggling with high rents or bad roommates or a breakup. The straight and narrow is this. This world is making it pretty hard for us to feel at home right now, to make our home. The pandemic is the obvious culprit, but it goes beyond that, of course. Our world is full of state-sponsored violence and white supremacy. Our country's fundamental values of democracy are under siege. And climate change is making the West Coast literally look like hell on earth. If you haven't seen those photos yet, they are something else. What does home look like in that kind of world? What does homemaking look like in that kind of world? From all I've seen and lived this summer, here is what I found it to be for me. I found that home can be a very real physical place, but it can also be a state of mind, a community of people, a set of practices that give us life. If where we live does not feel like home, we can try and make home in those ways instead. I've learned that home is something we spend our whole lives seeking after. It can be aided by a real place, a real location that we love, but it's really more about finding that sense of peace and belonging and love in this life and this world. That feeling is more home than a place. I found that our homes can be expansive and freeing. They can make us feel like we connect with the infinite, whether through broad views of city streets or vaulted ceilings or open floor plans. But also homes can be quiet and intimate, full of small nooks and crannies and familiar corners to make us feel safe and sheltered. Home can be a container for many different kinds of feelings. I've also learned that our homes in name only drain us of life. They make a mockery of the sacred need to belong in this world, to be in a place that we feel safe and comfortable. And that feeling of being not at home wears us down, no matter what else is happening around us. That no one deserves to feel that. Now, our work together, as people who all wish to feel deep inside that there is a place for us, this is the work of homemaking. It's really just life-making, finding those things that give us peace and joy and love and freedom to be who we are and want to be. When we talk about homecoming in this community, it's really life-making we are returning to, this intentional practice with each other. And part of this work is the work of making home for ourselves. but it's also about making sure this world is a home for everyone. We can work on ourselves, but we need to work on the world too, to make it home-like, especially for those whose this world is harsh and unjust and cruel. There are too many homeless out there, literally and in spirit. So this is what we come home to do, the work of finding ourselves a home and making the world a home for everyone. Here we work to change the world to make it safe for everyone, the way a home should be. Here we find good company and hope when the going is tough. Now, our homes will never be perfect. Whether this home we share at Fourth Universalist, or the home of our larger world, or the home that you live in each and every day. Home will never be that, no matter how much work you spend on it. But the idea of home is so vital, because it reminds us that this world can be good. I was reassured, even when I was writing this sermon a few days ago, that amidst my own imperfect home, as I sat on a sofa on top of my ruined rug and my derailed plans at my own homemaking, that cat who destroyed my dream of perfection came up to me, hopped up on the sofa, and laid her head on my lap. She fell soundly asleep, content and at peace. We are still friends. Along with my wife and another less troublesome cat, we share our imperfect home together. Just like you and me and all of us share this community and our whole world too. We are separated from many miles, away from the building we love, away from the joy and the happiness that sharing the air breathes. And still, we are home. Ask yourself what you will do to make your home a little better, to make this world feel a little more loving, both for you but also for everyone who deserves that same safety and peace. That's what we do here at Fourth Universalist. It is so wonderful to see you all again, to be back here at our service, to be ready for another congregational year. No matter the heartaches and the struggles that we're going to face and that we have faced, no matter this world's imperfections, we have to believe that this home can be full of hope and beauty and love. And the good news is that we can make it that way. You and me and all of us. The work of homemaking. It is what we have come home to do. It is good and sacred work. And I'm so glad we can do it together. May it be so, and amen.